Mind you, I am hungry. That's why I'm over here eating a candy. I waited too late to eat. Playing.
All right, so I'm gonna try. All right, all right.
All right, we live.
All right, all right. What's going on? Alabama, Alaska, Utah, Mexico, Miami. I have African listeners. So Africa, Atlanta, and most important, Philly. Philly is where I am from. What's going on, guys? I see everybody is muted. So I'm gonna get the producer, I guess, to unmute everyone, or you can unmute yourself. I am so excited. I hope you guys can hear me because we were having technical difficulties, and that never happens. And I think it's because it's one of the greatest shows that I ever had and ever will have. I'm trying to tell y'all, I was so excited. So I would like for you guys to introduce yourself, starting with Tony, since you're on the top.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Bryce.
Yuri.
Me? Oh, Yuri.
I'm sorry.
Hello, I'm Yuri Love, and I'm from the House of Marciano.
Hello, everyone. My name is Travi. Ballroom name is Pink Puss. Southern Princess Old Navy.
Oh, okay now. So I have my producer, which is DJ Kid Disco. He's also the owner of, well, part owner of Grown Folks Radio. I have Miss Bella also on the line, and only they actually have a show that's called the Melanated Morning Show. Well, actually, it's the Melanated Night Show. All right. So I invited them
Melanated After Dark.
After Dark, but we're gonna change that name. They're gonna be dope. We gonna change that name. Because they have some fun on the show. They like TMZ. So first of all, I'm really excited once again to have you guys on my platform. I appreciate you guys being patient. But let's talk about the new show that's coming on the CW. How exciting is that, though? The CW guys, shout out to House of Talent PA, Antoine Johnson.
I mean, honestly, that is really exciting because for a person like me, because I am an actress, and so I've been on a bunch of different networks, but in the CW to me is a network that has some of the best shows I've ever watched, honestly.
Yes.
Like I always give CW their credit when it comes to like having some of the best shows. So even though I'm not in a scripted show, I'm part of this ballroom, Kiki ballroom competition type of show. And it's streaming on the CW. That's dope. So yeah. I feel like I can toss it off my list.
Right. But we know you from somewhere else. What else do we know you from?
Well, recently your girl was on P-Valley.
Right. And I binge watched that show. My son told me about it. He's like, he actually told my husband, you ain't watched P-Valley yet? My husband was like, what's that? I'm like, you ain't watched P-Valley yet? He was like, no. So we binge watched the whole entire show. It was amazing. It was amazing. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching.
And Trevi, I seen how you was twisting and turning. And the muscles, but you still what? Petite, doing your thing. Come on now.
Go ahead and give them to the people, Travi.
Right.
Well, I'm just very soft and dainty.
You know what's
all that. Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny? When I was putting y'all promo videos together, right? I'm like, oh my God, they're celebrities. So hopefully they like what I did. Y'all see, I was posting at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? I should have been asleep, but I wanted to make you guys, happy, so I stayed up all night to do that. Just want to appreciate it.
I really do.
No problem. Now, Yuri, come on now. Let me see how you do that. Walk that runway and do your arm twist. That I was like, okay, Yuri. So what made you guys get into dancing like that, actually?
Um,
You
No,
say
you
you.
ain't had well,
okay, so for me, I was around it for a long time. In high school, I used to make a lot of garments for people who did those competitions, what are considered balls. I was very shy, but I liked to create. So for a long time, I was just watching. I just didn't want to be in the forefront. It wasn't until I came my own that I felt like it was time. Like I've danced for several companies and things like that. But voguing was a different thing for me. And I wasn't the strongest at it because it's something a little bit more free than technical. And
Right.
so I just stood into runway and hand performance because I have precision. I'm not too much of a dainty and you know, um, so that's what made me step into it. But I found my strength in runway and hand performance. But I love voguing, but I know that it's not my strong point, but I love it.
Okay, I vogue too.
oh, period.
Actually, I don't, but I always wanted to learn. I always
Mhm.
wanted to learn. All right, Tony, what made you get into it, to dancing?
Well, for me, I go back to like I've always known about ball. I should say always, but at some point I started to learn about ballroom, but it wasn't for me until 2009 is when I started to teach myself how to Vogue. And I would watch YouTube clips. I believe Vogue Evolution had came out around that time on the ABC's dance show. I forget what it stands for. But that's where I really learned how to Vogue. However, when it comes to ballroom, I don't walk performance. I walk face and a femme queen face specifically. So I don't. I do Vogue. I get out there. I do it for my LSS. I know the elements. I know how to do it, but it's not something that I'm putting all of my time and effort in because like Yuri said, it is a dance that's very much your own. You create it. We have elements that creates the structure of what voguing is, but it essentially is your own performance and you get to create what you want to create. And I'm just I'm not. I can't. Now I am soft and dainty and feminine and all of those things when it's time, but it's just voguing is just something I like to tiptoe and do every now and again. But my category is femme queen phase.
Okay, Yuri, it's your turn. I mean, Travi. I said Yuri. Travi.
Well, honestly, I have gotten into ballroom. I want to say honestly, I honestly didn't want to be in ballroom back in Chicago, because that's where I'm from, South Side. But I really want to be in ballroom. I honestly was just like, no, that ain't my thing. I'm more of Jay said, that ballroom was just something I was just never like really interested in. But everybody around me and in the family scene in Chicago were in ballroom, and even in the family scene back in Chicago, we threw balls. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm here, so let me participate. But the more I went to the balls, the more I got involved, the more I found the love for it. And then on top of that, I was going to school for dance. And so I played around with Vogue, but never really, wanted to take it serious. And so when I finally came to Atlanta and joined the ballrooms, the Kiki ballroom scene in Atlanta, I'm like, okay, this is
Right.
kind of cute. And I just found, I found my little woo and yeah, and that's that. So now I really do have like a love for ballroom now.
Okay. Okay. Well, I don't want to seem like this is a trivia question or anything like that. So I wanted to talk about the LGBTQI community, and I wanted to know. I wanted you guys to explain to me. Do you identify yourself as a certain gender? Is that okay? Question.
Yeah, well,
All
I'm
right.
Tony Price. I am a Black woman of trans experience. So, as it relates to the LGBTQIA plus community, I would represent the T, and T standing for transgender.
Okay, Yuri. Wait a minute. First of all, so I don't know if you know, I was getting a lot of DMs like, what did she mean by transgenders or something that you said? What did you say? Transgenders or what?
Hey,
Okay.
A mistake.
Right. So are you trans?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm getting messages and they didn't realize that you were trans. So they thought that you was coming at them and they was commenting and one person commented and I'm like, and she was trans. And she was like, what did she mean by that? I don't know if you saw that on my page, but I was hoping that she's tuned in so she could see you wasn't really, you were, to me, you were saying what people were saying.
Right. What for me, LGBT, what I was saying, if they tune into the show, I feel like it's listed in the ways that people will deal with us.
Okay.
Like it's all right socially and amongst, you know, media, two women together, it's done so often, it's accepted. Then when it comes to the gay people, we don't mind featuring them. They, you know, they're part of our community. They know who they are. They stay in their lane.
Right.
Bisexuals, it's like, you need to know what you want. Either you want a man or a woman. Even if a man say he bi, most people will say he's gay. Even though he says he's bi, they will say, so you're confused. You don't know if you want a man or a woman. Transgenders, we don't know how to identify you. Some of the girls identify as trans. Some girls identify as women of trans experience. Some consider themselves women, period. Y'all are a mistake. Y'all don't know who y'all are. You confused. So that's where I was getting at. And that's how people treat us. They give more respect to those beginning letters than the end letters. We're a misrepresented community, and people don't understand us, and they aren't trying to really educate themselves on who we are as trans women, or women, period. And so that's why it's so hard for us to go somewhere and be identified as who we are, because we have other people telling our stories and narrating what is what. Like gay people, a lot of them, they'll get with their DL friends and they're like, oh, she's beautiful.
Right.
You know, the man. You know,
Right.
instead of saying, oh, you know that she's a girl who transitioned or whatever, they keep it cute and give the wow shock factor.
Or how about shutting up and not spilling our tea for us? How about that?
Right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
I
So,
heard that.
so you know, a lot of trans women have been killed in the last couple of months, and so some people were saying, like, I don't actually know about every incident, but I believe the one that was killed just, I think, a month ago or within this month, I think her name was Mia, and I believe she was dating someone, and I'm guessing one of his friends found out that he was dating a trans woman and he killed her. That's what I was getting. So when you dating, how long does it take for you to let someone know that you're trans? Because you two are absolutely gorgeous. Travis, we're gonna get to you because I don't think you're no. But I'm saying, all right, let me just start with this. All right. So when I was younger, I was just telling Antoine, I was younger, I had a friend, he was what do you call it? Jesus. Well, you just dress like a woman. I can't think of the terminology. What is it? Transvestite?
Like
right, crossover. So, but he had a really big Adam's apple. I noticed that a lot of the women that are, or men that's trans now, don't have the Adam's apple. You guys look just like us. Y'all, we look the same. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, hey.
Well, and that's the reason for me, it's about, because when you look into identifiers, like I'm Black, I'm a woman, I'm trans. And so for me, when I identify myself, I'm a Black woman of trans experience. And the reason why I say that specifically, because if you don't know that I'm trans, you assume that I'm cis, therefore having cis privilege and cis passing ability and cis experiences at the end of the day. It's not until I then tell you that I'm trans that you realize I'm trans, and then all of that narrative that you've created in your mind goes out the window.
Right.
And then when you lead into that, that's when, you know, whatever comes, whether it's disrespect or whatever comes. But to answer your initial question, for me, like, as being an actress, being a person that's on public platforms, period, and all the time, and being a person that has created my own platform it's not a part of me that I'm ashamed of. It's not a part of me that I hide. So for me, it's leading with that out the gate. Now, I'm not saying I'm always in a space, depending on where I am, to disclose that. So maybe I might take a number and then text it later. Or maybe I might be having a conversation on Facebook and then at some point, oh, let's meet up. Okay, well, before we do that, let's have this conversation. But for me, it's never something that's hard to talk about. It's never something that's hard to tell because we're not out here, quote unquote, tricking people. It's just every girl has their time whenever they're ready to disclose, their authenticity. It's each person has their own time.
Okay,
For me,
so
right out the gate.
I think, was it Miss Bella or only one of you guys had a question, and I don't want to say the question wrong. Can you answer that question that you asked me last night, please?
I wondered if the LGBTQ community had a hard time with a number of African Americans backing the things that are being done unjust to the LGBTQ community before they step up to do what's necessary for us to get our respects as Black individuals. Like, do you all feel that the regular fight for just Black rights in general should be overshadowing you all receiving the things that you all are due as well?
For me, it is a very complex answer. There's issues within our Black community, and there's issues already within our gay and trans bi community. It is very divided. The gay people aren't as accepting of the bi people, and the bi people and the gay people don't quite understand the trans women. So it's hard for us to fight for rights that we don't understand. Like, a gay individual don't understand the power of us having a name change or being able to walk in public and get a job like everyone else. So with all of those issues, a lot of girls are identified as sex workers or whatever because a lot of those privileges aren't given to us. And so for someone like myself and Tony, we have to create those privileges for ourselves. And sometimes it's not even enough. Like, when we create those spaces where we can work or whatever, it's always another issue when we do create our own spaces. And so we can't always get the assistance from our Black community because they don't understand what our struggle is, because they don't understand anything besides the gay community, and we don't identify as gay. And so it's a lot of different reasons why we don't have that backing and understanding. It's also a culture and religion, and that's another issue as well. So it's a very complex situation, and it's a very complex answer. And so we can't narrow it down. It's a lot of things that factor into having the problem.
And let me add this too. Anytime I'm on any of these panels, I always let people know, like, again, I'm a Black woman of trans experience. So the first words out of my mouth is Black, right? So what we all need to understand is that our liberation as Black people is connected and tied into each other. One of us can't be free. One particular community can't be free until we're all free. Therefore, we have to fight for one another. Right. When you go back in time and you look at the civil rights movement, when you go back in time and you look at Stonewall, all of those things were happening at the same time. Were they different movements? Absolutely, because even being a person of the LGBT spectrum was against the law. But we're no longer in those days. Therefore, we need to band together again as Black people, and we need to learn how to fight for each other. And we need to stop putting our liberation specifically as trans women, Black women of trans experience, at the bottom, and realize that we too deserve liberation, and we deserve the justice of the things that's happening to us. Felicia Harris was the 31st known Black woman of trans experience that has been murdered within this month alone. So, and we're just in the 10th month of the year. So I just say all that to say is people need to realize that as Black people, our liberation is connected to one another, and there's no excuse for us not to be fighting for each other. Period.
I agree. Go ahead, Travi.
No, I'm just in agreement. I just feel like at the end of the day, we're all people. We're all going through stuff. And whatever or who we are, it should not really matter. At the end of the day, we're still people. So it's just like, just because this is a group of people. This is a group of people. This is a group of people. At the end of the day, we are all, like Tony said, we're all one Black. So
Exactly.
it shouldn't matter who we lay down with or anything like that. At the end of the day, we are all still one. So yeah.
Well, listen, I work with young people that's at-risk youth, and I do this every day, all day. So we have some that's in the group that's LGBT. And so I have one little girl, she's gay. So I asked her a question. We had talked about it previously before I asked her the question to let her know I was going to ask the question. So I asked her, I said, well, when did you realize you were gay, right? And she said at age 4, because I was saying back in the day when I used to meet people who were direct cross dressers or anything like that, they used to have a story behind it, whereas though something happened to them when they were younger. Okay. So for all the younger people that I'm meeting now, nothing happened. They believe that they were born gay. You understand what I'm saying? Or whatever. Or they believe they were really supposed to be a man or a woman, whatever. So I asked her a question and she said she was 4. So the boys all laughed. So I'm asking them, I said, why y'all? They was like, 4? That's crazy. So I said, well, when did y'all realize y'all were straight? And they was like, huh? I said, when did y'all realize that y'all were straight? So one of the boys was like, well, wait a minute. I think I was 4 too. But then that opened up the dialogue for everyone to talk. So I said, why is it that females, we can hang around a gay girl or a gay man is not a problem, but a male don't want to hang around a gay man, but he don't mind hanging around a gay woman. So one of the boys was like, well, because he might come on to me. I said, but if he's not interested in you, why would like come on to you? Not even his type. You understand?
Period.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you think they're gonna touch you and all of a sudden you're gonna be gay. It doesn't work like that.
Exactly.
It doesn't work like that. So for me, I had told a couple of my friends, they say you always hang around the LGBT community. And I said, why? Because to be honest with you, they treat me better than my own kind. Now, that may sound crazy, but if I call any of my friends from the LGBT community and I tell them I'm hungry, they're going to bring me some food. If I call a friend who I thought was a friend and I tell them I'm hungry, they be like, well, let me see what I got in my freezer for you. You understand what I'm saying? It's just totally, and that sounds crazy that I'm saying, they'll say, let me look at my refrigerator. I don't want what you have in your refrigerator. That's for you. I'm saying, and I don't eat pork. So let me just say that. One of my friends said to me, she said, well, I have bacon, I have this. I said, but you know I don't eat pork. She said, well, then you're not that hungry. Like, that's crazy. So for me, I don't judge anybody for anything. Yeah. Because it says it in the Bible, or you will be judged. So yeah. I don't judge anybody. I get along with everyone. I love everyone. I'm actually in a movie that's called Let's Be Real, and I'm in it. And so I get women coming on to me all the time thinking that I'm also gay, but I get free food and clothes too. You know what I'm saying? It don't bother me. But I think we have to go to commercial break, right? Disco? Commercial break? I'm not sure. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll be right back, guys. So we're actually also on the radio as well.
Oh, period.
Hey, and YouTube Live. Yeah. So we got a couple of places that we're at, which is great.
I really appreciate these questions. I really, really do.
You do? All right. I was just hoping I wasn't offensive whatsoever. Because you can offend people all the time, and I don't want to do that. Right.
Well,
go ahead.
I think it's important too, like when these conversations are being had, like Yuri and I specifically are, Black women of trans experience. So we know what terms to use. We know what terms may be offensive or may not be fully evolved that people may use. But in these spaces, you give more grace and for the sake of understanding, for the sake of educating. So I'm not offended by anything that has been said or anything so far. But yeah, it's a learning situation, honestly. I mean, we ain't new, we've been here, but
yeah. And a lot of times it's all about, just learning people as an individual, because there's some trans girls you'll meet and they will identify as a man, and I don't, I don't specifically understand it, but it isn't for me to understand. So with every girl, you have to just kind of learn them and get to know them, ask them how they identify, because or how they feel about certain situations, because every girl's different. Like some girls into some things and some girls aren't, and so you just have to kind of individualize, the conversation when it comes to that, because that's why I was saying before, it's such a complex situation, because you might see a girl that you stereotypically would say, oh, she is a woman, she is gorgeous, she's beautiful,
Right,
and,
right.
and she'll be like, I'm the king dingaling, and it's like, oh, why would she say that? She's a lady.
Right,
You know,
right,
But
right.
you know damn well T.S. Madison would tell you that it's a big dick woman. So I love T.S., but I love the fact that she puts it out in the open. The problem is it's late research on these categories because for the longest time they considered you all mentally ill. People were getting lobotomies, locked up, thrown away, cursed. It didn't have to be that way.
Right.
It didn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that anything is wrong with you liking what you like and being comfortable in what makes you comfortable.
Okay.
But they don't want to let it happen. For some odd reason, the suppression makes them feel, I guess, safer because of their own desires that they are suppressing. But it is
Right.
not for anyone's child to be killed because other people don't want to understand that we can be different and we can exist.
Yeah, it
Exactly.
just doesn't
well,
make
I think
it
I,
doesn't
I
make sense to me.
Well, I just don't think you need to harm people. I don't really care.
60 seconds,
That's
y'all.
where I'm at with it. How
60
many?
seconds. 60 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a couple of questions after the break.
Maybe it's the mosquito bites for me.
Right.
You still getting bit by mosquitoes? Really?
They still out here
Oh,
in Georgia.
I think they're all gone here. I don't know.
Child, mosquitoes
Might be.
never leave Georgia.
They don't never leave
Mosquitoes is
here.
Baby,
all
They're
they
like
is
year
drug
so
users. They're
round.
gonna
hard up.
exist forever.
They just lean on you forever in Georgia. They
Oh,
about as big as cats in Georgia.
listen, no. I went to Delaware, and I promise I'm never going to Delaware again. I've never mosquitoes that big in my entire life. I'm saying they was big as the grasshoppers, or
Oh,
like they were
We
huge.
back. Y'all
And
back. Y'all back. Y'all
We
back.
back.
we are back live. This is Philly Wonder Woman, and I have the cast from the CW, the Kiki live. And I'm actually saying that wrong. It's called Kiki what?
The ball.
Kiki the
wow.
Ball live. There you go. Miss Bella, you said that you had a question.
I do. Well, I got a few questions, but I'm gonna start here. So I know early in the show you were saying, and I can't remember exactly which one said it, but you were saying how earlier in the show, how you felt like, the beginning letters of the LBGT, I call it the alphabet soup because them letters are starting to get long. Um, that the beginning parts of that feels like it's more established, and then when you start getting into the more letters, you feel like, it's not as established or not as understood. Do you feel like it should be something separate, or do you feel like it should all be together? Because I think it was Tony that was saying, or maybe it was Yuri that was saying, you have gays that don't really understand being trans, or the different, I don't want to say levels, but like the different places where you may be at in your life, or the different stages, probably should be a better word. So do you feel like your your struggle or your movement needs to be separated from that? So maybe people have a better understanding, or we can do a better job of educating folks about how it feels to be trans, transsexual or transgender, or in exactly what those terms may mean to
Um,
you versus what they mean to us?
I do sometimes feel, and only sometimes, I feel like it should be a separate thing. But I do understand why it is grouped together because of the experience part. Even though we are women, we have a trans experience. So people understand, oh, she used to be and now she's a woman. And so because what we used to be, and maybe we were like some of us were gay boys and then transitioned to women. Some of us were just hetero cis men who transitioned to women. So it's I feel like it's more of them grouping us together because of our situations being somewhat taboo. Um, but I think at some the reason it's important that we're all grouped together is because we all walk in the same community and we should be fighting for the rights of all of us that's in that community so that the people who are outside of that community can understand. But sometimes it's hard to do that because our community is so divided. And in order to get some of those statements across and make sure the terminology and conversations are right, I feel like sometimes we need to be separate because a gay man couldn't tell you what a trans experience is about. And a hetero man nor a hetero woman could tell you what that experience is about. And that experience is different for every girl. And the transition is different for every girl. And there's different ways of transitioning and people don't understand that. And so I think sometimes it do need to be separate, but because if we want these rights, because our community is much smaller than the gay community, or is less visible than the gay community, that we do need to be grouped with these people so that the movement looks bigger, even though that our community, it isn't getting the light that it needs to be pushed. So grouping it together helps it push faster. But other than that, I don't really think so.
So let me ask you a question. The new show that you guys are doing, what is that based on?
The new show?
Yes.
The new show that we're doing is based off of Ballroom. Ballroom is a community where people were marginalized and they weren't given the opportunities as everybody else. So let's say you're a fashion designer, but people don't want to recognize you because you are gay or because you're transgender. This is somewhere where you can go and highlight your talent and be seen um, through other communities that wouldn't normally see you. Um, every category represents somebody who isn't being seen, and for their community to see them and say, yes, you are great, or I see it for you, but you need to do better or be better. So that's basically what ballroom is for: self-expression, creativity, and family. All of those things is what ballroom is about.
Okay. You Trevi, when you first approached your parents to let them know, say it again.
No, I'll say yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you first approached your parents to let them know that you were gay, how did they react?
Ooh, child. So, so when I first told my mom, and because our family was heavily in the church, my
Right.
grandmother, she was the elder of the church, so we really had to be like that picture perfect family because
Right.
she was really like the assistant to the apostle. So
Oh,
it
wow.
was, yeah. So when I told my mom, and the words was until God, no, it was literally, it was my mom and it was my grandma, and the words was, until God releases those demons out of you, you are not fucking back in my home.
Really?
Yeah.
Pitiful.
Wait, I'm
Wow.
sorry, I missed that. Did she say until God delivers the demons out of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So, but honestly, when I had to experience life, on my own and growing up and everything like that, um, I truly do thank God for the shows like Oppose. And because now my mom, because I moved from Chicago and I came to Atlanta to just really just, go after life for myself. And
Right.
so when my mom called me and literally was crying and letting me know that, I'm sorry, I apologize, I just didn't have an understanding. I didn't know. And it was a breakthrough moment for me because a lot of the things that I went through from that point
Mhm.
on, a lot of that stuff was built up hurt because I had to experience life on my own.
Right.
And the thing about that was me and my mom was like really, 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 really close. We was so close. Like that was my best friend. And so I thought it was okay, for me to come out and tell my mom. But,
Right.
when I look back over everything, I can kind of see why, it was until God releases those demons because of the fact that we have to put on this picture,
Right.
that this family can't do no wrong. So I'm like, okay, well, now to have a gay child, oh no 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 no, So, but yeah, it was definitely an experience.
Well, I'm glad you guys, worked it out, and your mom is back to your number one.
Yes, because even now she will call me and she would tell me, I'm watching tag team performance. And I say, wait, what? Tag team performance what? She's like, well, I'm on YouTube, I'm watching tag team performance. I thought, okay. And so it's just like, even when the day that she watched Pose, and she always tell me that I remind her, I forgot the character name, but I remind her of the boy that was the dancer.
Damon.
And so she would
What's the
tell me
name?
like,
Damon.
Okay.
right. So she would tell me like, Charles, you just remind me of him so much. And I literally was crying because, I just saw you in him. And that's when it just all came to me. And I was like, yeah, mom, like, just because this is what I like and this is my life, that does not mean that I'm gonna go and just destroy my life or I'm bad or I'm no good to the world. Like, no, this is just who I am as a person, and I want to live in my truth. And just because this is something that you may like, this is something that my twin brother may like, this is something that my other brothers they like,
You said
but
twin brother?
I'm different.
You have a
You said,
twin
huh?
brother? You said you
Yeah.
have. Oh wow. Okay. Y'all identical?
Yes.
Oh, I can't. I gotta go through your page. Is he?
So what?
Yeah, but and
I,
then
I have a question then. What was his
okay.
reaction?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Yeah.
So the crazy part is I never ever came out to my brother. It was naturally to him. Even like in high school, if somebody ever said anything, he would always take up for me. It just came natural. And even still to this day, he still tells me, even when I was going through the stuff with my mom, he would still tell me like, Trav, be you. And so just to have that, like that, it's like the little hope in my like, okay, I know my family gonna come around because with my brother, I never literally never came out to my brother. It was a natural, it's like a natural flow with him. So
Okay.
with that, it always gave me like it's a little bit of hope that I know that this my circumstances are gonna change. And so I'm just happy that now we have shows like Oppose that's out now to release content so that people can understand. So
Right. Right. Oh, that's awesome. All right, Tony, you're up. When, or did you? Since I found out some people don't come out to your family.
Well, I don't necessarily know for trans people that it's a come out, so to speak, or anybody. I guess everybody uses their own terminology,
Right.
but for me, you know, I tell people all the time, being a woman of trans experience to me is a very spiritual journey. It wasn't something that you wake up and like, oh, child, I feel like a girl, a woman, or well, this is not. It's not. It wasn't that for me. It was a spiritual journey. I've always had a very feminine. My spirit has always been who she was, and I kind of always, well, growing up and thinking about stuff, I think of like pre-colonization when you had, indigenous people here. They had people that were known as two-spirit, which still exists to this day, obviously within that culture. But those were people that they thought to have or knew to have two spirits, the masculine, the feminine. And they were people that were adored. They were spiritual advisors. People went to them for everything because they felt like they have two experiences. Like, how can you have that? And so for me, it's always been a spiritual thing for me. What I would say in terms of my transition, my transition was very later in life because early on in life, the first women of trans experience that I met were, and let me say this first. I know I'm not on trial. I don't judge anybody for their experiences or what they felt like they had to do to survive. But
Right.
I know that I didn't want to choose sex work. I didn't want to have to craft and survive. I didn't want to have to do any of that. That's not the path that I wanted for myself.
Right.
And thank God I had enough privilege in life to not have to choose that path, because some people don't have the privilege or opportunities to do anything different. So I
Right.
just want to say that, because I don't ever want to think people think I'm like shading people that do sex work, because it's never been that for me. My girlfriends that do it now, I encourage them to make sure they protecting themselves, etc. But I sat with that for a long time. Like, I have to do sex work. I have to do sex work in order to transition. And I was like, you know what? I don't. And I haven't. And I just got my breast augmentation a
I
month
know,
ago.
bro. I was watching your video.
Oh, them titties looking
Didn't
good.
have to do it. You know what I'm saying? So had I had that mentality way later or earlier, excuse me, I would have definitely transitioned sooner. But yeah, I just called my mama one day. I was like, Mama, I'm just letting you know, girl, I'm transitioning and this is what I'm doing. And she was like, okay. I don't think she took me serious.
Right.
But she still struggles with pronouns and all that kind of stuff. But even my first appointment, she went with me to my first appointment with my doctor. She had a talk with my doctor. But yeah, my family know at this point I'm good. With or without them, I'm good. So it's for you to respect me,
Right.
and it's for you to love and care, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be good regardless. So
That's right.
but for me, I say all that to say, I don't think I necessarily had to come out. It just was kind of more of a self-awareness for me to say, I need to do this in order to live in my truth and be happy. And that's what I'm doing, living in my truth and being happy. And I've never been more happy and passionate and successful in life until, you make that life or death decision, honestly, of this is what I know that I have to do.
I think that's amazing. All right, Yuri, you're up next.
For me, I was ready. I was always ready. But because I grew up in a very tight-knit community, like my mom was very deep in the church. All I was surrounded by was church individuals. And we stayed in a town. It wasn't until my parents divorced and my father and my siblings, we moved to the city, and I started interacting with different people. Then I felt more free. I started dressing up. But I didn't know the ways to go about developing breasts or anything, or how to get a name change. And then I was scared to, do it full time, because it's like, how am I going to get a job? I go in there looking like this with this name on my ID. And it wasn't until much later in life, I dressed up for a long time. It wasn't until much later in life, I got stranded in New York. I went out there for New Year's Eve. It got stranded, and I met a girl. She let me come stay with her, and she helped me transition and got me with the doctors, got my name changed for free and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in New York, they really, really are supportive. And
oh yeah, in New York, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, so I got a lot done later on, but the thing is like now moving back to the South, because I had more career opportunities, things have slowed down for me, but I'm sure, that once I get everything situated, I'll be back on track. But it's all about your region and who you're around, and being educated. No, there was no one of trans experience there to educate me on anything, so it happened much later, because I did. If you have to go find a trans woman, where do you find her? How do you even know if she's trans? It wasn't until later into life I found out my bus driver was a trans woman. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so
I mean, if you think about it, look at this. Look at everybody picture right now. Tony looked like my sister. We look just alike, except I'm chocolate. She looked just like me. I'm just saying. I'm looking at her picture. I'm like, yo, she real cute. Listen, I watched P-Valley. I had no clue that she was trans. No clue at all. And like I was just saying, I'm so used to, or maybe I could be wrong, but I'm used to the that means you were born male. I'm gonna make sure I'm right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's what being a woman of trans experience. You were born or assigned male at birth. Yeah.
Okay, right. Assigned male at birth. But you remember I was saying about the Adam's apple?
Mhm.
You don't have one. And you look like me. You look just like me. We could be sisters. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, I think everybody's body and genetics are different. Yeah, I mean, it's just
All males don't have Adam's apples. That's just the truth.
yeah.
That's true. Some of them genetically are softer.
All males don't have Adam's apples.
They have
Right,
softer
I
features.
didn't know that. As me being younger, all the guys I knew had Adam's apple. I'm telling you, but later on in life, it's like, how they saying that the young people around now are really violent. And back in the day, they wasn't. It's like things is just changing so much that Trevi, do you have an Adam's apple? See,
I'm
like
talking
I don't
about
see yours.
Trevi is fierce. Them
Right,
eyelashes.
right.
That did it for me.
Listen, so
I think too, like earlier generations, there was a sense of needing to find something on a woman of trans experience to clock her, so to speak.
right, there you go.
And nowadays, be it genetics, be it surgery, like there's things that we can have surgery on to take away or enhance, and sometimes it just may be genetics. Like for me, for example, I've never had any surgery prior to my breast. Like that was the first surgery I've ever had in my life. So sometimes it's just the genes, it's just the genetics. It just depends on what it is. But I do think there's a sense of needing to find something to clock the girls, when really it's just like,
Yeah,
we're passable,
Right.
it's not even a notion of, trying to look like or be anything, because I am what I am. I don't have to try to do anything. I just am who I am. So
correct.
Right. That's what gets me the most. Is like cis women, they're never compared as much as we are. Like when like women of trans experience, all the time, you need to look like this. You should look like all of us should look like a Barbie or a video vixen, is what most of the people always navigate us in our transition. But when it the cis women, nobody's navigating them into what they should look like. And we just need to be treated as women, period, and not, in order to be a bad, you need to look like this. Like, no, I want me and my sister to look like we sisters. I want, my family, they see me as a woman and they respect that I shouldn't have to be Megan Good. I shouldn't have to be Nicki Minaj, because my mother's not Nicki Minaj. So
Nicki Minaj don't wake up Nicki Minaj, baby. Let's stop this.
and there's this, I mean, even with women, period, there's this, European beauty standard that everybody tries to follow. Like Black women naturally have curves, so now the girls are going to get their bodies done to have curves, when before that was something that they were shamed about, and et cetera, et cetera. So I just think even when it comes to women of trans experience, there's always this level of, either I feel like it's a spectrum. Either you're gonna try and look passable and blend in with everyday society, or either you're gonna look beautiful and be like, forget all of that. I want to be one of the baddest, beautiful girls that you can find. And some of us just find a happy medium, and we're okay with that. So, like you said, like I no matter, even with cis women, baby.
I know more
all shapes,
born
sizes,
women.
Can I
back
ask a
is wide,
question?
feet are long, and everything. So, like, let's stop all of that we have to look a certain way, and stop policing how we're supposed to look. Like, that's foolish.
I got a question, because I guess I'm not really hearing what y'all saying. So did you say what kind of women? You said cis women?
That's what we are. I think we're
I
considered.
wasn't hearing what I was like, what kind of women?
Oh,
Okay.
So cis being
Cisgender.
Yes.
CIS.
Being what now?
A cisgender, like we are transgender. Cisgender women are women that identify with the sex and gender they were assigned at birth.
Right. So remember what's his name?
AKA Fish. That's us.
Was it
Hold
Malik?
on. hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. We might have some listeners that's not as savvy.
No. I'm
So
gonna tell you. Remember when Malik Yoba came out and said, I think it was Malik, right? That
Or
said he
Malik
was.
Yoba.
we okay. People say a lot of stuff, so I'm just trying to
No, he
follow.
explained what cisgender was because he was saying that he's cis. He said he was cis though.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm a little confused now too.
Well, no. So here's the thing. Transgender is just a word. Cisgender is just a word, right? So I am a woman of trans experience, and a man could be a man of trans experience. Trans just short for transgender. So you being a cis woman, that means you identify with the sex and gender you were assigned at birth. Malik being a cis man means he identifies with the sex and gender he was assigned at birth. So that's
Okay.
also the word CIS. I don't know if it's what origin it comes from, but it means same. It just means same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
See some clarity. No,
Listen.
sometimes I just feel like, if people just kind of understand, sometimes terminology, you just be trying to wrap your mind around the terminology. Because like me and sis was talking the other day, and I was like, I have a medical background, so everything for me kind of falls into that. And I was just saying, you know, when you work in the medical field, there's a difference between a transgender and a transsexual.
Mhm.
And so she was saying to me, she was like, I was like, well, transgender, they're transgender, they're transitioning into that gender. And then when you're transsexual, you're already in it. Like you don't had the full gamut, you know, full surgery, what you were, you're not no more. And so like when I hear other people's experience on how they identify themselves, it's just interesting to me. Like I think this is the first time I ever heard someone refer to themselves as, transgender experience. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
I've never heard the transgender experience too. So you ladies actually, the way you broke it down is a little different than how some other trans people, women, men broke it down. And each time I learn more and more and more, and I'm very, very appreciative. But I do have a question from someone. They asked me, I think it was Yuri. You said something about you was able to change your name and everything, or was that Tony? Okay, what was the experience like changing your name?
Changing my name was fairly simple. What they do, all they do is they want to know the reason for your name change. I want my name to match my gender. Okay, we make sure that you don't have a record, nothing that you're trying to run away from, any warrants or etc. They go ahead and they check and make sure that there's no debts that you owe that you're trying to avoid by changing your name. Um, and that's basically it. If you can pass that and put all of that in a newspaper, usually it's a small newspaper like Penny Saver or something that most people don't even read anymore. You put it there so that anybody who reads these newspapers, if they need to locate you for any reason, they can. But usually, nobody's really looking for you, so they put it in a smaller newspaper so you're not exploited for being trans. So
Okay.
Did you have to go to court and stand before a judge, Yuri?
yeah, you do have to go before a judge. But for me, I had a lawyer. My lawyer did all the work. She told me every step that she was doing. And then once you go before the judge, he just wants to see you in person, make sure that you're visually, because my reason was I want my name to match my gender. So when he sees you, he wants to see a woman. He wants that you are living as a woman or whatever. Mostly is what my lawyer, explained to me. Because they were through an LGBT community network, and they get your name changed for free. So they want to make sure that your answers are consistent, everything is clear, that you're not like trying to do any scandal or scams. And so it's a fairly easy experience, but the further south you go, it gets a little bit more complicated and more money has to be put into it than it really is necessary.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely more difficult in Georgia, and I did mine myself in Georgia, and I mean the experience is the same, but it can get pretty difficult.
Mhm.
Now, so wait a minute. So Tony, were you born with the name Tony? See, because that could be a guy name or a girl name, so it would be easy for you if you were born with the name Tony.
And I was.
Oh, okay.
I was named originally after my grandfather, so I was a second, and my grandfather's name was Tony Tony, so not the Anthony's, Antonios, or anything. So when it came down for me to change my name, it was just simply taking the Y to an I and then removing my middle name. So
Okay.
the name part was easier for me because I know some girls feeling like I need to pick a completely different name. I don't want to be even look at that name. But for me,
Right.
I'm just Tony. And for me too, I've always known who I was. So it didn't make, I didn't, the people like to say man this, but I didn't have a manhood. So you can never call me something that I never was. However, that's why my name for me is just, I just always been Tony. So remove that
Yuri,
Y for now.
listen, Travi wants to say something. Go ahead, Travi. We ain't forget
No,
about you.
I'm just, I'm
Oh,
just agreeing
that's
like
the
I
expression
live.
of, that's a cosign expression. Like, yeah, you said that or you did
Oh,
that.
Lord. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So as far as acting, are all three of you guys actors? No, just Tony.
No,
You're-
I am
You act.
well.
Okay. What have we seen you in? I mean, I watch a lot of things, so tell us what we can see you on or what you've been on.
In front of the camera, most of my work has been with Signal 23, which is a gay TV network. So most of my work's been there, but I've worked with several companies behind camera. I started off just being a photographer and videographer, like filming for people.
Okay.
It was till later on that I was, asked to get in front of the camera because they didn't have enough cast, and then I did a good job, and now several people just like, oh, I need you for this, I need you for that. So that's how that came about for me. But
Oh.
most of the shows I've been on in front of the camera have been Signal 23. And we, it was, pretty decent shows. I did one with Mama D. I did a pilot with Robin Gibbons and
Wow.
Darren Henson. I've, Jensen Atwood. So like these are, some people that I really respect that I've met through a gay TV network. So I really am very happy that I did get that opportunity to get my foot in a smaller, pool before I was thrown out there.
Okay. Miss Tony.
Well, for me, I've been acting for about 13 years now. I started off in theater in high school, and theater is my first love. I love theater. I haven't done much of it since high school, but I love theater. After high school, I went to college, and when I was in college, I wasn't acting. I was doing things like hosting and event planning, just being a student leader. Which really, hosting is a part of acting because you're improv.
Yep.
You're engaging the audience. You're keeping their attention.
Absolutely.
So that for me helped me, like that only enhances me as an actor. And
Right.
then after I graduated, I moved to Orlando working a corporate 500. I was just like, child, I know this is not for me. I'm not meant to spend, this face is not meant to be behind a computer screen for the rest of it. And so I started doing background with student films. And then when I eventually moved to Atlanta, which is probably almost like 5 years now, I started in the LGBT content series. And so I was just kind of like, not that I'm like the first, I don't know that I'm the first or anything like that, but I was one of the first girls that you would see in the web series 4 years ago when they were not creating roles and characters for women of trans experience at all in those series. It was heavily gay, which is fine if that's what you want. But we exist as well. And so that's all of my stuff dates back then, Eden's Garden, Twisted, and even today, just doing web series or doing indie films. And but crazy enough, out the gate in 2016, I was on MTV Epic Fail. So I've always kind of been in TV. It just wasn't my P-Valley moment. Let me just say that. But yeah, Star and P-Valley were probably more so the main two TV shows that people always recognize me from, because I was on Star every season just in the background. And the third season I played a friend to the woman named Dior that came on in season 3. So I played a friend of hers on an episode of Star, and then came pvalley, and just auditioning for other stuff too. Like I auditioned for The Shy and all that good stuff.
Okay. How tall are you guys? I just threw this
Can
out
I
there. How
just
tall
say
are you?
Tony reminds me of Lisa Ray?
Oh
No,
really?
no,
I ain't
she
never
You
got Lisa
do.
Ray.
no.
You remind me of
No,
Lisa
Tony,
Ray.
you remind me of me. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Well, I'm 5'8".
Okay. Okay. Yuri,
I'm 5'8" as well.
Trevi.
5'8".
Y'all is
Across the board.
all right. So
Yeah.
I know a lot of times when you ask a woman what size do they wear, they don't like to do that. Do you guys mind telling me what size you guys wear?
Like what, in like pants and stuff?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't even wear pants, so
What you
I
guys
would
wear?
have to go get fitted. Travis, do I wear pants?
No.
Every every day at work, I'm in a dress. I don't even know what size. I might be. I can't even. I don't even know.
All right, what size dress do you wear?
A large, extra large, depending on the stretch, but I don't know the number. I don't know if it equates to like 12, maybe. I don't know.
I was just
I'm not
wondering.
a thin girl. I'm a
No, but
curvy
y'all
girl
wear-
for sure.
you guys are
Mother
the same height,
plush.
so I wanted to know, did y'all wear close to the same size other than your boobies? Did y'all wear close to the same size? That's why I asked.
Oh, okay.
Plus I might want to wear some clothes. I'm just saying.
I wear like when it comes to dresses, it's large, extra large. And then like pants, I wear like a 10
See,
or
me too.
11.
Okay. Travi. Now I know you wear pants, so what size you wear, boo?
Well, when it comes to pants, if I decide to wear pants, it's a 32.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if I decide to wear a skirt, it's pretty much a large.
Okay. So we all wear the same size. That's incredible.
Yeah.
We all different shapes, but we all wear the same size. And we're all what? Miss
I'm
Bella,
a
I
thick
know
'em.
I don't.
I'm a thick 'em, Sonny. No. Show don't. Mm.
I don't know. Let's see. Can we hear? First of all, I'm gonna put this up real quick, right? And let me see. Can you guys see this? Can you see that? Can y'all hear him?
No.
It's Antoine.
Hey.
I thought he was going to jump on too, but I guess he didn't. He was.
I don't
busy.
know how to.
I had sent you the link. I sent everybody the link.
Oh, let me try again.
Oh my God.
Did you send it to Kiki the Ball?
Yep. It's in the
All
group.
right,
It's in the group page. Yep. Okay.
All right, I'll try it.
Okay. What happened to Tony? She disappeared.
I don't. Let me try to text her right quick.
Because her phone could have died. You never know. I'm here. Could have died.
She might have fell down. You know how these internets be doing.
Listen, look what happened with me. Yeah, we know. We definitely know, right? That was horrible. So, while Travi is, I keep saying Yuri, while Travi is doing that,
I need Yuri to tell me where she got this necklace from.
I was going to ask that question. Where'd you get the necklace from?
I got it on Amazon. I actually had got it for a ball that got canceled. They said to be an iced out. So, I had an all white outfit, and my whole outfit diamonds. And so this is just a piece that I like to rock from time to time. But I know eventually one day that ball's going to resurface. So I'm keeping a lot of it hidden.
Okay.
But I got it on
Amazon.
I don't know if I said it, but I got it on Amazon.
Oh, on Amazon. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What were you going to say?
My computer cut out. I don't know what's going on with it, but I'm bad.
Antoine.
There you go. There you go. The man that made it all happen.
Hi, Antoine.
You gotta
You're on
take it
mute.
You on mute.
It's
Can
on
you take
mute.
stuff off mute, please?
Antoine, you're on mute.
There you
I
Sorry.
I'm sorry I'm late to the party. Like I've been editing the ball and just going through like the other phases of this, and I'm just like so impressed and so happy with everyone. It's incredible.
Well, it was because of you all this is possible.
No, it's not. It's because of them, because
Well-
they gave life to this the dog is the new puppy. They gave life to this project, and that's all that matters, is telling that story that always gets silenced, and it's just so frustrating. And I was telling them before, you know, I learned so much about LGBTQ, Black and Brown, and just like the subcultures within the culture, and it's heartbreaking because we are a community and we should be one, and there should be no division, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm thankful for them. They made this happen.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And shout out to your sponsor. Oh yeah, me.
Yes. Wait, which category is? What was it? You're the your hands category? No, you were.
Yes, it was. It was him.
Yeah, you were the hands category. Yep.
Right.
So
I wanted to be there so bad. I wanted to be there so bad. So I cannot wait until it starts so I could be screaming. I'm gonna say I know y'all, but I really don't. But I'm like, I know them. You know what I mean? So is there anything you guys would like to say to any of your fans, supporters, people who don't know you yet, want to get to know you? Is there anything you would like to say? And Travi, I want you to go first.
Well, first off, if anyone wants to get to know the South, the cut, and the dainty, my social media is Traviaiko. That's TRAVIIAIKO. On Instagram, it's the same thing with the underscore. And yeah, just follow me, and yeah, that's about it.
Are you single? Wait a minute, hold up. Are you single?
I'm definitely single, ready to mingle. I just really want people, you know, my thing is, whoever comes into my life, I want them to accept me fully. You know, a lot of times people just want, they see a male figure, and they think I'm just supposed to be like this boy. And you're gonna get the soft and the cut and the dainty. You're gonna see me with a beat face, a cute lash, and yeah. So
I know that's right.
yeah. But yeah, so to everybody that want to follow me, like I said, it's Traviaiko. That's TRAVIIAIKO on all social media platforms.
Okay, Yuri.
You can find me on Instagram. I'm rarely on Facebook, unless it's promoting something. So it's Bossy, spelled regularly, underscore Cannon, CANNON. Because that was my first love, shooting Canon cameras as a photographer.
Okay. And are you married or single? Did I go out? Oh, I said, are you married or single?
I'm single, but I am dating someone exclusive at the moment. But I am, you know, pretty much. I'm single, but we're dating exclusively.
Okay. All right, now Tony, my sister, my twin.
Well, first let me say I just want to thank you know, being a independent artist out in these streets. I don't have management. I don't have talent. I mean, management. Well, I do have talent.
Wait a minute, you said you have
management. I have an agent. There we go.
You don't have hold on. Wait a minute. You don't have an agent.
No, I don't have any of that. So
Antoine.
Huh?
I said Antoine. She said she don't have an agent.
Oh.
What? Well, we about to work you, baby.
Yes.
Yeah, so being a person that doesn't have that, I go very hard for myself, but I also have to give credit to the community, because anytime they see something, they see passing, they're DMing me, they're tagging me and stuff. And I'm really appreciative of that, because it's really me in the community at the end of the day. So I just want to say thank you to any and everybody that has ever tagged me in something, let me know about an opportunity that I've submitted for. I really do appreciate all of y'all. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat actually. And that's the THE, Tony, TONI, Bryce, BRYCE, the Tony Bryce on all platforms. And yes, that's me. Thank y'all.
So real quick, do anybody have what's the thing I'm on now? What's it called?
TikTok.
Yeah. Like y'all not on
Lord have
TikTok?
mercy. How in
Like,
that
what's
TikTok?
So
up?
for some reason, I keep on trying to get TikTok on my cellular device, and she would not pop up.
Oh, we gotta work on that because I've been doing some fun stuff on there. Okay?
I be wanting to do the dance challenges on TikTok.
Oh yes, a lot of them. Wait, so it's not letting you do it?
Like I would download it, but it would say something about like a connection problem. I'm like, I have internet service. My phone bill is paid. Like I don't know what's going on.
I'm gonna need y'all to follow me. I put all y'all stuff on TikTok. So once y'all get on there, you're already gonna have stuff on there.
Oh.
Hey. But I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate Antoine as well. And yes, he's correct. Because of you guys, this is happening. But at the same time, I personally appreciate him because he does a lot. He does a lot for people. He does a lot for me. He is like one of my best friends. And I love him to life. I will do anything for him. And he made a lot of stuff possible. We had the first reality show. Y'all's the second. Ha. But it was Spotlight Under the L. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it. It was on Fox 29. So that one was a singing competition, and he made that happen as well. So I know for a fact that he loves what he does, and he loves working with people who love to work. And that would be you guys. So thank you so much. And hopefully we get an opportunity to meet one another, in person, to take some pictures and dance, and
So I know we're supposed to be coming down. What day is that? I think it's November 6th. We probably coming to what is because it's a ball in on the 7th.
Okay.
From the house of Duce.
Okay. So if y'all coming down, then I would definitely like to see you guys. And Tony, if you can't do P-Valley second season because you're not feeling well, we look just alike. I'm just saying.
Well, Katori Hall, I love her to death. Katori Hall, I just got word that they're about to start back writing. So I'm just praying that Nineveh is coming back for season 2 because that would be absolutely amazing.
Hey.
And I also want to say to Antoine, I really do thank you because at the end of the day, I mean, you know how everything started with this project and where it was supposed to film, et cetera, et cetera. But I just want to say thank you for believing in Atlanta, the Atlanta Kiki scene, to even have us come to Philly to be able to create this or help you create this show. So
yeah,
I just
definitely.
Because that was dope. That was super dope. So I'm forever grateful and thankful to you because of that. You could have gave, we can't do it, and you could have told, the kids that are already in Philly doing it. So thank you so much.
Well, I couldn't have imagined it being any other way than what it was. So, I'm blessed because of what you guys did, and I'm blessed because you guys shared a story. And all the BS that it took to get there, it happened for a reason. This is what it's supposed to be. And I truly believe in my soul that this is going to change lives, and this is going to be healing for a community and for a lot of people. So thank you. This is because of you guys, this is possible.
Amen, y'all. Amen. But before I let y'all go, are you guys registered to vote?
Yeah.
Everyone said yes? Like everyone said yes? All right, can you guys do me one small favor? Can you guys check out Jade Simmons for me? Just to see if she's a person that you would want to vote for. Because she's also president of the United States, African-American woman from the South. So just check her out and see what y'all think. Because most people don't want to vote for Trump or what's his name? Trump or
Biden.
Biden. Right. But she also supports the LGBT community, and she supports the youth. And she's been doing it for about 20, 25 years. So check her out. All right, guys. And I really, really, really thank you guys. Antoine, did anything else you would like to say?
Yes. I would 110% like for you to come to the premiere party to meet everybody, because I think I'm pretty sure they're gonna be in town. So
Okay. Yay.
Yeah, well, first I booked. I know me and Travi were booked.
oh yes, well at least Tony and Travis will be here.
I'm gonna be there.
Oh,
Period.
Yuri too, and it's brunch, so that's good. It's gonna be a brunch kind of feel. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah,
And
I'm having it at my house, so you know
oh,
how
that's
that.
even better. Yes, I feel comfortable. Okay. Woo. All right, all right. And before I go, Miss Bella, only, I really appreciate you ladies joining me tonight. I asked them to come and join me. They have an amazing show after dark time. And I just wanted them to, be here with me. And to my producer, DJ Kid Disco, Grown Folks Radio. I appreciate everything.
Thank you for the invitation. I don't think I would have missed
Did
it
she
for the
just
world. It's a
did she
necessary
just fall down?
conversation.
Oh, there she go.
So yeah, my phone rang, and so did my
Okay.
laptop. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate it. And like I said, you always have a home with me. You can always tag me or something, whatever. And I got y'all. All right.
I'm about to
So
watch
thank you
P-Valley
guys.
for once.
What'd you say?
I've
Yeah,
been trying
go
to
I
get
watch
her
never
to
got
watch
around to watching
P-Valley.
P-Valley, but I'm definitely about to. I don't know. Something about Travi tells me that it'll be worth the watch.
Oh no, that's a different show. P Valley is Tony.
Oh,
This show
I
right here.
already.
What guys?
Kiki the ball.
Kiki the Ball on CW.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
totally
told you
different.
to watch P-Valley. I told
I'm
you.
going to. I'm going to. I'm going to. I don't know. I'm going to, definitely. Necessary conversation, though. I like to say the strength in all three of you is the
Right.
type of strength that's necessary. I mean, you had lost the one support system that you thought you would ever need in life.
Yeah.
Travis, you still survived.
Yeah.
Tony, you had the opportunity to be supported throughout it all. And Yuri, not only did you find a way to do it, but it was cost effective. That's how you execute. That's how you have to execute
Right.
things.
Right. So we appreciate you guys. I don't want to hold you up any longer because I know you
It was
sure
nice
have
meeting you
things to
guys.
do, probably. So with that being said, remember this, and this is this is how I hang up. God loves you, your family love you, and I love you too. Bye.
Oh.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
I see ya.
Y'all have a great night.
All right, you too.